Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Apostles House Connect. I'm your host, Tashea and today we'll be joined by Sarah Fischer, Director of Community Services and Humanities Teacher at the Newark Academy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nadege, Executive Director here at the Apostles House, and I am so excited to have a long-standing partner with us. Welcome, Sarah.
Yay!
Hi, everyone.
So, Sarah, to get us started, share with our viewers a little bit about Newark Academy and how you were introduced to the Apostles House.
Gladly. So, Newark Academy is a very old school, actually started in the city of Newark in 1774, and now we're out in Livingston. And so one of the commitments we've made when we made that change of location in the 60s was that we're going to try to stay connected to the city of Newark. So we're always looking for opportunities to partner, not just through service, but through, visits for field trips and kind of recognizing the excellence and the amazingness that is Newark and connecting back to that. And so I had a student on my community service council a few years ago, and her mom was working with the Episcopal Diocese in Newark, and she's the one who actually introduced us to the Apostles House. And it was perfect timing because we were switching partners with one of our other programming. They had dissolved. We were looking for a new partner, specifically new partners that worked with families, and the Apostles House worked really well for us, and hopefully has worked really well for you guys. So
It really has.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what was it about the Apostles House, Sarah, that made you guys say, you know what, this is an organization worthwhile working with?
I think two things. One, specifically, we were looking for an organization that was working with families, all sorts of families and all kind of makeups of what that term family looks like. We have the holiday party, which we'll talk about I'm sure later, which is one of our signature events that predates me. I think it's almost 30 years that it's been going on, partnering with various organizations. And the key about it is that it's a family-based event, right? Like our family and community, what our partners' family and communities are all coming together to kind of celebrate. And so that was really important to us to find an organization that was working with families. But then on the flip side of that is dealing specifically with families that are in crisis because of the housing issues and because of homelessness or the various other reasons that kind of impact housing and housing insecurity is something that I'm passionate about. It's the first issue I ever remember working on in any sort of like service realm. But it's something that our community is really passionate about and has always made commitments to. So it was kind of perfect for us. And then we got to meet you guys, and I think we've developed a really good partnership, and that's really important for us too, that it's a partnership, not us just giving or you just requesting, that it's more unified.
Yes. And our partnership is a long-standing one. So can you share with our viewers how far back does our partnership go?
So I think it's about 8 years, give or take. And we started off, as I said, working in the holiday party, kind of one event here, one event there, and it's really grown since then, which I'm really proud of. And I think it's been really helpful to have conversations about, what we can offer. We're a school. We don't have the answers. Y'all are the experts, what you need, and kind of figuring out where the space in between is, where we can really help each other out with both of our missions and making sure, that we keep your families at the center of all the work we do, because that's the reason we're all here. So,
Right.
So Sarah, for the past 2 years, I've had the pleasure of working with you and your team of students at Newark Academy to bring the Apostles House Kids program to life. Can you elaborate a little bit on the projects that we've worked on and your involvement?
Yeah, definitely. So we started out with this idea of kind of a mentoring tutoring program, which we were doing before the pandemic, which was, once a week we'd come over, bring our kids, your kids, and just let them play and draw art and kind of do wherever it would take us. And we kind of figured it out as we were going along. Once the pandemic hit, we, reached out and said, what can we do to help? And then working with Project Nest as well, we came up with a homework help program for students, which was online and virtual and wonderful in many ways, but we missed actually being in person. And more recently, last year, we developed kind of a family night option, which we've done a couple of times, where there's been reading and then kind of pizza and a movie. And then finally the Meet the Masters program, which is taking off and I'm really excited about for in the future, working with kind of introducing students, having our students help introduce the kids at the Apostles House to various artists and then doing a joint art project together. So I'm really excited about that and seeing where that one goes.
Yes, I have to say, so are the clients that have participated so far. The kids are really excited. And as you saw from the last two rounds, you know, the hours are usually an hour long, but we've gone way beyond just because they became so engrossed in what they were doing and they were just having a blast. So I'm looking forward to the next next class.
Me too.
I want to say a quick shout out to Kaya Patel, Lauren Freed, and Miss Sandy Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And it's been great to see the partnership grow in this way. Can you explain to us a little bit about the impact that our partnership is having on the students of Newark Academy?
Definitely. So, I mean, first and foremost, I think just having an opportunity to invite you guys in as experts to our community to talk about the issues that the Apostles House deals with. We were able to do that at our Sleep Out last year, but just generally has been really helpful or lending information to me that I can then talk to our students about. One of the things we try to do at Newark Academy is not just have kids like go out and do community service and then leave, but instead really think about what are the underlying issues. Because if we just address the symptom, we're just putting a Band-Aid on it, right? And the wound's still there, and if not anything, it might even be getting worse, right? So if we have this younger generation that we're teaching, we want to make sure they're thinking critically about those issues and connecting the issue to the actual reality, right? It's one thing to study something about redlining or housing insecurity or what have you. It's another thing to see what that looks like in real time and then recognize that the people who are at the Apostles House are the same as us, right? Like, and that's one of the things we've really seen and kids talk about is like, you know, they may have come in with a preconceived notion and then they hang out at the holiday party and they hang out with kids their own age and they realize like they listen to the same music and they do the same things and right, they follow the same social media influencers or what have you, and that there's no difference, right? There's except the circumstances of maybe where they're born or what's happening in their families or beyond. And so that's been really helpful, I think, for the students. And then the other flip side of that is working with kids specifically. We've been able to have kids like really show that this is their passion. So I've talked about this before. We have a student, Caleb, who, you know, if you met him, wouldn't think he was like awesome with kids. Not bad, but like he's like this typical, you know, sports player, cool guy, you know, nice kid. But when he gets around students, when he was at the Apostles House, it's like you could just see that he needs to be doing that in his life, right? Like it just kind of, he lit up that way. And then has since pursued that, looked for doing something like that for a senior project and is thinking about working with kids in the future. So that's really been, both of those ways are really important to us. So, plus I get to hold the babies at the holiday party. So for me, I'm a fan.
Has the pandemic impacted or changed your approach in how you go about engaging your partners?
Yeah, I think the main thing when the pandemic hit and we were all in isolation and I was trying to figure out how to, you know, do service when everyone's in their individual houses. For me, I wanted to make sure that I reached out to all of our partners and that we were doing the best we could to continue to support our partners despite the pandemic, right? And so that support and that partnership changed and looked very different. But I think it underlined the importance of when you are in a partnership, it's like a marriage, right? It's like through thick or thin, and there needs to be give and take, and there needs to be conversations. And so in sickness or in health, we have to work together. And so I think that was one of the main things for us and kind of renew and reestablish the importance of that in our programming and what we do.
Nice. Throughout this talk today, Sarah, we talked a little bit about the Christmas party. We mentioned the Christmas party, and I want to tell you viewers, you have no idea how wonderful this event is, where the students of Newark Academy put on such a beautiful program for the Apostles House families. So if you would like to share, Sarah, with our viewers, the planning that goes on, what made you guys feel like you needed to do this event for our families, I mean, this is such a highly anticipated event at the Apostles House each year.
Well, it's definitely highly anticipated at Newark Academy as well, and often mentioned. We ask all of our seniors what's one of their favorite experiences in the whole 6 through 12, the time you were at NA, and many of them have said, the holiday party is one of the highlights for them. First, I have to say, all credit for planning, organization, vision goes to Sandy Palmer. She is one of my colleagues that I work with, and she heads up the holiday party. Mm-hmm. As far as planning, it starts usually on Black Friday the year before, because we immediately are going out and trying to get the best deals of like the year's like cool gifts. Every family gets a gift in themselves, but then for like the family, but also every student or every child gets a gift as well. And so we start looking for those pretty early. As far as our students go, we usually have about 100 of our students, give or take, who are involved in the night. So it's really a big event for us as well. And that planning starts early on. We'll start to talk about it a couple of months in advance and start organizing it within the Community Service Council, which is our leadership group. And then after that, we'll start recruiting students. And then the day before, we do wrapping for hours and hours, which is so much fun. The kids just hang out and we all wrap presents together, and they remember things. Oh, I had this when I was younger. Oh, I missed this, that kind of stuff. And then the day of, we start right after school, changing the dining room from a traditional boring dining room to like an explosion of holiday fun where we have tons of lights and tons of trees and menorahs, and everything you can imagine. And then, goes through the end of it. So we love it. The students really enjoy it. And I think it's an example of the full Newark Academy community coming together with the Apostles House community, because our parents, administrators, teachers, everyone's involved in some level, which is really fun.
Very, very exciting event. I mean, our kids, the parents, they truly love that event. Santa Claus is there every single year. All the children get to sit on Santa's lap and take pictures. It's such a nice event. So we're looking forward to it again.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to be back in person. We did it this year. It was a little bit of a struggle online, but it's great. And I know, our arts groups that perform music and sing and stuff are really excited to get in front of the Apostles House audience, really, because they're so appreciative and do that. So fingers crossed we'll be in person.
Sarah, thank you for coming on today to chat with Nadege and me, and to share with our viewers and supporters the work we're doing to really impact the lives of the students, children in our facilities. So thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I love hanging out with you guys.
Thank you to our viewers for watching. We really appreciate your support. Be on the lookout for the next episode of the Apostles House Connect, scheduled to air on Friday, September 3rd. Until then, stay well.